The stock market has become one of the big political issues the past few days. After 3 days of carnage, global markets were way up today. But as the news broke yesterday that the market was down over 1,000, Donald Trump sent a flurry of posts on social media, not just blaming Democrats or the Biden administration, but specifically putting it on Kamala Harris, calling it the Kamala crash and claiming her next move will be the Great Depression of 2024. Many in conservative media echoing that sentiment, blaming Vice President Harris as well as President Biden, including for a downturn in Japan.
This is day 3 of what President Trump is now calling the Kamala crash, and the hemorrhaging is not over. Japan's stock market, they just posted their worst day since Black Monday from 1987. All of this being fueled by the very real fears that the Biden-Harris economy will spiral this country in a full-on recession.
The market's running like rats from a burning ship from the prospect of Kamala Harris as our commander-in-chief.
The Kamala crash, that's crash with a K.
The soft underbelly of Bidenomics, now Kamalanomics. Ooh.
And I think a lot of investors around the country and around the world said, holy cow, this woman can actually be elected president. And I think that caused a complete panic.
A Kamala crash. Japan? By the way, Japan's market rallied early today over 10%. That's what happens with stock markets. They go up, they go down. Yes, on recession fears, but also interest rate changes, technology shifts, even weather. But just like a few days of weather doesn't equal climate change, short shifts, even crashes, don't often reflect long-term economic climate. There is a reason you also never heard people yelling about Pensonomics during the coronavirus sell-off, right? Pensonomics. You can argue the other side's economic policies are bad, and long-term it certainly may impact the stock market. But I am not an expert in this stuff. Veteran reporter and anchor Connell McShane is. He has covered the economy for over 20 years for Bloomberg and Fox Business, is now the host of NewsNation Now, which airs weekdays 3 to 5 p.m. Connell, good to see you.
Good to see you, Dan.
All right, so let's just talk big picture. I mean, how much can a president be responsible for the stock market, credit or blame?
There's always too much credit and there's always too much blame, and there's always a certain amount of eye rolling that goes on among people who cover the markets, and more importantly from people who participate in the markets when this story comes up, because they know all of that going in. Now, are there times when a president can affect the market, or somebody maybe buys or sells certain stocks because someone's going to be president? Yes. I mean, there was a run-up in the market, for example, when Donald Trump was elected in 2016 up to his inauguration in 2017. A lot of that probably was, or some of it, because of optimism over his policies. Well, he's going to cut your taxes, and that might mean that stocks will go higher. So, yeah, sometimes it happens, but more times than not, it's either not the case or it's overly simplifying the case. For example, you mentioned Japan. Is Kamala Harris somehow to blame for the unwinding of something called the carry trade in Japan? I mean, it's ludicrous at best.
But when you heard Sean Hannity there saying that there was this anticipation, right, of the possibility that the polls getting much better for Kamala Harris. Is that fair to say that was impacting the market?
The problem is the people who support Donald Trump, we see this on the other side to some degree, but much more so from Trump himself. When the market is up, suddenly it's because people are anticipating Trump is going to win, right? But when the market is down, it's Biden's fault, or now it's Kamala Harris's fault. You're playing with fire to some degree. And we've seen this for Trump forever. Even when he was president, he always wanted to take credit for every market that was up. And again, the market did well when he was president. Why? The market usually goes up. The stock market, more times than not, goes up. So the statistics actually show in recent history it's done a little bit better when Democrats are president rather than Republicans. But is that because of their policies? Not necessarily. The market over time goes up. Sometimes it goes down when you're president, and you got to be careful. COVID, great example. 9/11 hit when Bush was president. The financial crisis hit when Bush was president, continued when Obama was president. Those are things outside the control many times.
And I guess we could say, since the market's up today, it's the Walz effect, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the fact that Tim Walz is the VP, that's why the market's way up. Of course that's not
no,
the case.
No, it's craziness.
Connell McShane, good to see you, sir.
Thank you,
Thanks
Dan.
for coming in. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.